maniacal. Tylenol, threes mixed make a hella antidote. Speak irrelevant, ain't enough medicine. From swelling your mouths worse than pelicans. I can sock whores, that's what the back of their skeletons. Fuck having remorse, you'll be better off suicidal than forfeiting. You can have your horsemen, but not their vital organs.
What is up, y'all? It's Coffee on the vid. Back at it, man. And Eminem, obviously, everyone knows, the whole world knows, right? Just dropped that new project. I don't know if it's going to be his last one, The Death of Slim Shady. I finally started listening to it today. I'm a few tracks in. It's going pretty hard. Eminem put it out to the world. You got to listen to that thing from beginning to end. It's a concept album. If you listen out of order, it just ain't going to hit right? But with the news of Eminem's album, you know, doing numbers, seeing mixed reviews or whatever, again, everyone comment what your thoughts about the project, what tracks you like and all that. We got to talk about D12. Even though the group like disbanded, R.I.P. Proof, and you know, it was like a shame they only got to drop a couple projects studio wise, right? The Devil's Night and the D12 World. And if you watch the documentaries and whatnot, you know, Eminem did what everyone within the collective said they would do. Yo, if we get on, you got to come back for us, right? Whoever gets on, come back and sign the other individuals from D12. And M did that, right? And you know, part of the documentary, they were saying what they felt fucked up D12's run was Purple Pills dropped as a single. And then, you know, because this is a different era. This is back when like MTV, BET, radio spins, all that mattered. When they dropped the second single, Fight Music, it was at a time where the country had just went through a major tragedy. NIN 1-1, right? Fucked up everything, like the country was just different, mourning, people didn't know how to feel. And Fight Music, I don't know, you know, that's something that's always been highlighted documentary wise, that it didn't help push the album further. You know, some albums you drop a few singles, normally you get a single out before the album's out, like how Purple Pills, but when Fight Music dropped, the country was in mourning, and it didn't help push the project. A few years later, you know, D12 World drops, and you know, comment your favorite tracks on both those albums and all that. You know, there's been like word over the years that there was maybe, I don't want to say beef, but you hear Eminem on one of those snippets that I played in the beginning there talking about how when beef's within the crew, it stays within the crew. I don't know if he was talking about Dan or that was some ish from back in the day, but there was just rumors that D12 was unhappy. Some members of D12, when 50 got signed to Shady Records, that, you know, he was the number one priority. And in a sense, some ways it does feel like that maybe is the way things went, that there just wasn't the focus for D12. We've seen less of them on Eminem's projects after that. And, you know, M was always busy touring, doing other stuff. So a lot of times it kind of seems like they were just all by their lonesome or whatever. You know, I never understood, too, why their solo projects didn't come out under Shady Records. They came out independently or through other deals. All of them, I believe. But anyways, even though the group really doesn't exist in a sense as an active group anymore, the D12 name is still alive. If you go over to their Instagram, they've been touring. They got Obi Trice with them on some of the tour dates. They're putting up a lot of footage. They're trying to slang a lot of merch, from jackets and kicks and shirts to salsa. Remember from the second album, on the My Band-ish, Eminem clowning around about the salsa. They even got D12 salsa. You know what I'm saying? They working hard, trying to get to a bag. You know what I mean? Like, there's always this stigma that M didn't do enough for them. I don't know. Comment if you feel there's anything, any truth to that or whatever. But it is what it is. They gotta grind. They gotta bust their ass. And make that money, get paid, right? There ain't no retirement package in this ish or whatever. And you know, I don't know that any of the artists really went on to do anything solo wise on a big level, mainstream wise. Bizarre actually just has a project that he just dropped with Young Z of the Outsiders, you know. But as far as D12 that's touring right now, I think it's only Swifty. Is it Conniver? I would like, no disrespect to them, I would get their names mixed up. I think it's only two or three of them that are like keeping the D12 name alive and pushing the music out there to the fans and whatnot. But something that they've been posting about now is that a lot of their catalog that wasn't available on streaming is now becoming available on streaming, and that's what I wanted to talk about as well on this video. Is that era, as you see the announcement of Return of the Dozen mixtape, I think volume 1 and 2 both being available on streaming now. I want to say, and for the fans out there, like, don't trip, you know what I'm saying? Don't, like, if you think I'm ishing on D12 at all, I'm a fan of them, or if I get anything wrong, you know what I mean? I just hop on it here to have these conversations with y'all about different topics, mainly hip hop stuff on this channel. So tap in, hit the comments and all that. But there was an era where it was like we were gonna get even after Proof passing, again RIP to Proof, where D12 was gonna come back and there was supposed to be another album, and they dropped Return of the Dozen volume 1 and volume 2 mixtapes. These are the ones that just got added to streaming, and they even went and got another member, not to replace Proof, again RIP to the king, to GOAT Proof, dope MC, talented individual, close friend of Eminem, right? But because he can't be replaced, you know what I'm saying? But D12, there was other people that were in or out of the group back in the day. Like, if you hear them talk about the old stories, they talk about how they were trying to create like a Wu-Tang like collective for Detroit. Wu-Tang had 9 members. They ended up having like 6, and they would do the alter ego thing to have Dirty Dozen. You know what I mean? But there were a couple guys. I think one of them might have been like Iku, Bugs, obviously, who was killed. RIP to him as well. They talked about that a lot on their projects. That Only the Good Die Young song, and some other tracks, they reference him as well. Flucked Up Situation. He there's like video footage of his passing. It made the news. I believe got into a fight with someone at a park, a picnic, a cookout or something like that, and Bugs was getting the best of him, and you know, he was killed. But my point is like there was more D12 affiliates that weren't a part of D12 when D12 was put out to the masses. And another one that they got at this time when these Return of the Dozen mixtapes dropped, and it was seeming like we were gonna get a third D12 official studio album, was Fuzz Scooter. You know what I mean? There's all kinds of footage back then of him in the booth working with D12, him going on tour, and I don't know exactly what happened. It didn't work out. If you check his social network these days, he's dissing the fuck out of Eminem, calling Eminem a racist, just total disdain for Eminem, like someone to compare him to, but on like a more vicious level that popped up in the blogosphere, the internet, more recently, just a couple years ago, was As Is, right? People were like, damn, As Is, like, this guy hates Eminem, and As Is was a very hated individual amongst the blogosphere and Eminem fans and the stands, and you know, there's a whole Eminem sector of content creators that make music and reactors and stuff like that. And what I'm getting at is, like, I don't know if they ever made content about or reference Fuzz Scooter, but this man like makes the ish As Is say about M look like light work, look like he likes Eminem. But that era, they dropped those mixtapes. Royce was even on those mixtapes. I want to say it was between 2007 to 2010. Someone comment and let me know if I'm wrong about that's when those projects dropped. But whatever the case was, the third album with Fuzz Scooter as, you know, the newest member of D12, it just never happened. It never materialized. And you know, obviously we know later on the group disbanded. There were some social media posts about it, and Eminem talked about it on Kamikaze. I think the track Stepping Stones, just like more or less after Proof died, that D12 really just kind of fell apart, as they already, in a sense, seemed to be falling apart. But like I said, here we are now. These Return of the Dozen mixtapes, adding the streaming. Thought it'd just be a good time to tap in with all the fans out there and see what y'all thought about D12. Who were your favorite artists from the group? Who do you think was the dopest? What do you think about the way their career went? What do you think about that era with the Return of the Dozen mixtapes? You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember hearing the plan was for a straight up official album to come from that, but it never did. And then, as I stated, even though the group is deaded officially, it's still cool to see a couple of them touring, keeping the name alive, selling merch. They should do a podcast or something. I remember a while back, someone from D12 had the Shit Can Happen podcast, but I don't know if they stopped doing that or whatever. But nonetheless, the name lives on in 2024. So hit the comments with your thoughts about it all. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and stay tuned for more content. I'm gone.